Hi there everyone, Scapegoat Stephen back with another video match report. This time we are back with another league game. So it's me on the left of the screen using Union, piloted by Veteran Rage, and on the right hand side it is Morticians, led by Obulus. Friend of the channel, Mid-Kent Guild Baller, Mike Pollard is running this team in our league. So let's get to the match and see how it goes. So, running down the left-hand side, we've got Minx, Veteran Rage, Fangtooth, Coin, Benediction, and Grace. Running on the right-hand side, we've got Veteran Graves, Dirge, Brainpan Memory, Obulus, Pelage, and Bonesaw, who's kicking. So, Bonesaw is obviously going to take the kick-off. He is accurate, and he takes the first scatter, which is 2 inches to the fore, so just dabs it across the line. So, obviously, Veteran Rage really loves receiving. My pairing actually for most of this, in fact for the entire of the league, was Veteran Rage and Veteran Greed, obviously. So at the moment I do prescribe to the on the receive take Rage, and on the kick take Greed. So yeah, you know, I think I'm pretty happy with receiving in this regard. I've got a lot of experience with Veteran Rage myself. So Minx is going to sprint and then just pass the ball. Fangtooth, nice simple activation. It's pretty much takes that first attack, like first turn, charge in, get the ball, score, off of my opponent as an option. So Pelage is going to jog. Coin bag of coffers on Benediction. So there's a lot of fast activation and clock flipping. My opponent will sprint Veteran Graves and tag along with Dirge. Grace will jog, quick foot via Talisman on Fangtooth, and a quick foot through Fangtooth onto Veteran Rage. Dirge is going to jog. And then Benediction will brace themselves, put sturdy on Fangtooth, and then sprint themselves forward. Just as it's a bit of a waste of bag of coffers, but I was actually trying to lure, or attempt to lure someone in for then some pummeling by Veteran Rage and Fangtooth. So Mike's going to try and figure out what the hell he does now. So in the end, he's just going to dodge dodge Memory with Brainpan 3 times just to block basically my players. But first, he does see, is there anything? Can he get Obulus in? You know, to perhaps ping Resilience or Fangtooth, or try something. Because at the moment there is a bit of a threat range game going on, especially in this particular matchup. I don't really want to get dragged into a Pelage, Veteran Graves, Memory, horrific scrum thing. So yeah, I want to keep back. Obviously there goes the puppet, plonks itself right in the middle. Fangtooth's going to drop the ball, and Rage will snap it. He jogs to engage Memory and starts buying attacks. So we get a momentous knockdown as an opener, followed by a momentous double push, just to get him also engaged by Benediction, and then we'll do a non-momentous one at the end. So what we're trying to do here, the intention is to try and provoke Bonesaw coming in, and by just using Memory as a momentum battery. So there you go, Memory dodging back thanks to all of the Memory dodge things. Off goes Obulus, so he's going to Shadow-like. He's then going to Confidence Bonesaw, I believe. Just after this little bit of proxying that Mike's trying to do. Can he get Rage to come to him, or, you know, pass to him, or whatever the case may be. Unfortunately, he's just out of range for pretty much everything. So he's just going to jog. He just put Confidence on Bonesaw, so sprints, and then Puppet Masters Minx, and curiously moves to block Rage. I'm not sure what the play here was, I'll be honest. I was expecting Minx to either be dragged in to then be beaten up at the top of the next turn, or something similar. So Rage is going to go, he's going to Red Fury Minx, do a momentous 1 damage dodge and snared on the puppet. We'll then Red Fury Fangtooth, momentous double push. We then quick time Minx out of the way, Red Fury Fangtooth again for a momentous double push, and we charge Memory with Rage for the final action and take the momentous concussion. Again, what we're trying to do at this stage is build up a commanding momentum lead. It was a bit worrying actually. If I'd wrapped, I would have killed Memory, which I didn't really want to do. I wanted to leave it there for the start of the next turn. Bonesaw is going to look, can Bonesaw get 2 rage? Or at least perhaps come in, generate a bit of momentum. Would have not gone particularly well, I think, if he had pulled the trigger here. So actually, I think Mike makes the right decision and pretty much just bins Bonesaw's activation and just jogs him there. So he is in that cover, that should be noted, for the next turn. So I'm going to win momentum race, like 7-0, I think. I played Gimme 110%, because as I said in the previous video, who doesn't like even more influence in a Veteran Rage team? And my opponent once again gets the card I really like with Veteran Rage, Break Out the Knives. So +1 tack on everyone. So as you can see, I've got a good spread of my influence, especially again thanks to that Break Out, not Break Out the Knives. I love that. Give me 110% for the extra 2 influence. So Minx is going to go first. Minx just kills the memory with a momentous 3 damage dodge. Jogs to engage Bonesaw and Obulus, specifically for that, to trigger the unpredictable movement on Obulus. Does a momentous 2 damage dodge snared on Bonesaw, dodges out of Obulus's melee, does a follow-up momentous 2 damage with a dodge, followed by another momentous 2 damage and a dodge, and then backs to the shadows over there. So good opener, 4 influence, so 4 momentum for 4 influence. Got unpredictable movement used, but snared out on Bonesaw, makes him a 4-0. I'm pretty happy right now. So Veteran Graves decides to charge Minx, and Minx does defensive stance, and we get the knockdown They Ain't Tough, which is a likely result, to be honest. On that charge, I was just trying to make it a bit more difficult with that 5-1. So, looking at Rage next, can I get into the Veteran Graves there? So I use the free pass ability from Benediction once per turn, and Rage will just tap in pass to Fangtooth, who snaps the ball, collects the ball from the pass. I then clear knockdown on Minx, quick time Minx to engage Veteran Graves, legendary and charge Graves. So on the charge, I just get the knockdown. I just don't want him, I just want him to be set up to do horrible things to him. So I then Red Fury Minx, who takes a momentous 3 damage up to 4 damage because of the legendary, dodge and snared. Red Fury Minx again does a momentous 4 damage up to 5 and wraps to the momentous 1 that goes up to 2. And finally a Red Fury momentous 2 up to 3 takeout on Veteran Graves. So it's 2-0 in favour of the Union. So Obulus is going to go next. He's going to jog to engage Minx and misdirection at Fangtooth. So that pops resilience on Fangtooth, useful for later in the game, or in the turn, sorry, I should say. And then we move on to just hitting Minx a couple of times. We get a momentous 2 and a momentous 2. So I'm going to go Benediction next. Trying to figure, basically what I want to do is pull Obulus into engagement with other models, so the legendary triggers on Rage. I can't quite jog and hit him, so I choose to charge, which takes me the extent of my 2-inch melee. I'm leaving space for Fangtooth there, you can see with the proxy. And I actually spike a little bit higher than I wanted to, so I end up choosing the momentous knockdown. Just make it a little bit easier. I then make another attack and only get a single momentous push, which isn't quite enough to get them engaged by Minx. So Bonesaw, I just sort of talk to Mike here and obviously remind him that stamina, he can't clear that snared before the stamina jog, because the stamina is at the start of the activation. So he is just going to jog, unfortunately, with snared up. He's then going to clear snared, which is a wise choice, and then buy an attack on Benediction. I do declare a counterattack with poised. The initial attack by Bonesaw is just a 1-inch dodge. The counterattack is a double push to push him out of melee with Benediction. So then he's forced to charge through Benediction's melee range, but stop within Benediction's melee range at Fangtooth. So what I do with Fangtooth is I both defensive stance and counter attack. My basically forces means that he can't wrap that's the important thing there. The defensive stance stopped a rat, so he couldn't tackle and do something to me, like dodge away. So in the end, he is forced to pick the momentous unexpected arrival and just shove Fangtooth away, in the hope that he will push him far enough away that he won't be much of a threat to Obulus. So in goes coin, just jog to engage Bonesaw, bag of coppers, Fangtooth. Again, we're looking to proc that legendary from range with another model. So Brainpan creates memory, dodges him to engage Benediction, clears conditions on Obulus, makes memory attack, momentous 3 with a momentous 1 on the rat, and then a second attack doing a momentous 3. So Grace will jog and attack Bonesaw. I foolishly put her. I probably had the movement to go round and get her on to within the legendary range, but didn't do it, which is rather silly. So we attack Bonesaw, get a momentous dodge, then another momentous dodge, and we channel Healing Light through Minx to heal Benediction. So next we're going to go with Pelage, who charges Benediction, who does defensive stance and counter attack. She scores a non-momentous 1 up to 2 because of that killer male trait. My counter attack is a single push to push her out of melee with me, and then I'm forced to choose the 3 damage dilemma because there's no way I'm taking snared. Fangtooth can't jog even with the heroic to go punch Obulus, so he's going to have to heroic and then sprint into Obulus, so he gets base to base with Obulus. He then does his bag of coffers attack. You've got the legendary and Benediction there, and we choose the momentous unmasking because, frankly, why wouldn't I? It hits everyone except Dirge, Coin, and Grace, doing quite a strong level of damage to all of those, including a lot of my own players. And then I do a momentous 2 up to 4 on the next attack, again because of all of those buffs from the legendary and from the heroic. Dirge is going to jog as a result of at the end of the turn, just over the top there, making sure it goes round and stays out of melee of Fangtooth. So coming into next turn, Union have got 7 momentum, Morts have got 3, and I'm going to play Boot Sponsorship, and my opponent is going to play the card that gives -1 attack. Apologies, I've forgotten the name. I place that on Fangtooth because obviously he does not want more unmaskings. Not a position that I think they want to be. Now I played Boot Sponsorship purely because I wanted to win the momentum race and had to make sure. So that's what I dropped. So as you can see again, I've got a lot of my influence out on those beaters that are going to be in the centre of the pitch. So Obulus, I believe, gets stacked to 6 or 7, so I want to get rid of him. So Rage is going to furiously charge Obulus and pin him in, so he can't use that lovely trait of his, unpredictable movement. I do also engage Brainpan. So Obulus does defensive stance. I just choose the knockdown on the charge, just to make it easier. I quick time in Minx, and I Red Fury Minx because Minx isn't getting crowded out by anyone, and I'm going to get +3 dice against Obulus, and he's knocked down. So she does momentous 3 damage, dodge, snared. I Red Fury her again, momentous 4 damage, double dodge, wrapping to the momentous 2 dodge, and take out Obulus with a 7 stack, which is really strong. So that's 4-0 in favour of the Union. I put the heroic on Minx, and then I just attacked Brainpan with Rage and do 1 damage. So Brainpan's going to drop memory and attack Benediction, who does declare the poised counterattack. We get a momentous 2. The counterattack does nothing. I mean, I've got too many gang-ups for it to have been any good, but I just declared it because I might as well. And then we get a momentous 3 followed by a momentous 3 takeout, which means it's 4-2 now in favour of the Union, and then we heal Bonesaw with Brainpan. So Minx is going to go next, going to jog to attack Bonesaw, because I've got 2 friends there. He does counterattack. I score nothing on the attack, and he dodges just a single dodge on the counterattack. So I do a momentous 1 damage dodge snared on my second attack. Obviously, it's worth pointing out now that the heroic isn't in play because he's dodged out of me with Grace. Followed up by I do a bonus time an attack. Sorry, I get a momentous 3 damage. Then do a momentous 2 damage with bonus time to take out Bonesaw. So that takes it to 6-2 in favour of the Union. We're then going to go with Pelage. We do have a discussion actually that I'd misunderstood tag along and just said, just had to sort of get it straight in my head. Tag along is directly towards, so we couldn't get that extra gang up from Dirge. So Pelage jogs base to base with Rage, who does declare a counter attack. She gets a Momentous 2 up to 3, kill a male, counter attack 3 damage. Momentous 2 up to 3, non-momentous 4 up to 5, and then heals herself for 4. And the dilemma I choose is 3 damage again because I am not taking snared. I think that would just be end my players' lives really fast. So Coin's going to put Bag of Coffers on Grace and then go for a little bit of a jog. Not sure where because I don't think he can get. No, he can't get so that he engages Pelage, I don't believe. So he's just going to go for a jog to put himself sort of there. So Dirge is going to jog and put himself there to get in the way of potentially of Minx or Grace coming in to do anything. So Grace is going to jog to engage Memory and makes the Bag of Coffers attack and scores a momentous dodge. Again, it's all about generating that momentum. The counter attack is well, there was a counter attack declared. Oh yeah, on the next attack. So I get another momentous dodge. Counter attack comes back and does 1 damage. I do a momentous 2 on my third attack, and then drop the healing AoE to heal Rage and Fangtooth by 3. Spend 2 momentum to heal Rage by 4, and then spend 2 to heal Minx. So quite a bit. Veteran Grave sprints over the fast ground and then runs into the cover. Fangtooth is going to heroic, and then in hindsight realise after what I decided to do bears no relevance. That was a massive waste. I've just done 4 damage and used up all momentum for no reason. It's going to attack Memory, not momentous knockdown. Attack Dirge, momentous knockdown, and then attack Pelage. You might have guessed this, momentous knockdown. I then completely forget, and so does Mike, about Pelage's dilemma. So we don't take damage, we don't do anything like that, and unfortunately it gets missed in that instance. I think perhaps with the excitement of everything building in that horrific scrum in the middle. So Union have 6 momentum, Morticians have 0 coming into this turn. I play Punching Bag to give a model tough hide, and I choose Fangtooth just because Fangtooth's looking a little bit ropey at the moment because he's just done 4 damage to himself, and obviously Pelage is right there and he's got the lowest defensive stats. Morticians then put -1 armor on Fangtooth in response. So I am going to take the initiative, and I'm going to start with Rage because what isn't a good Union turn to start with, but Veteran Rage. As you see, Bonesaw's just jogged back on the pitch and is touching that fast ground. So Rage is going to open by Red Furying Fangtooth. I can't remember who on. I assume on Pelage actually, so I'm trying to kill her off. But obviously momentous damage isn't going to do it because she has empathy, but unmasking gets around that because it's a momentous playbook result. So it hits everyone on my own team, bar Benediction and Minx. But obviously there's that massive pile of people in that bit in the centre there. So when I do it, it does pop the puppet straight away and does a bit of damage to Dirge. But obviously I don't want to kill Dirge because then Dark Doubt triggers and removes my momentum. So Red Fury Fangtooth again, we get a non-momentous 2. Red Fury again, a non-momentous 1. Yeah, it's not the greatest. Quick time myself and furiously charge into Pelage, getting a non-momentous 3, which does take out Pelage. So that puts it to 8-2 in favour of the Union, and Rage is just going to heal himself by 4. Which is basically just really the damage that Fangtooth did to him. Graves is going to choose to glide with the point of momentum, and he's going to jog into Fangtooth. He's going to attack Fangtooth and pop Resilience. He's then going to attack Fangtooth again and get the momentous tackle. He's then going to attack Fangtooth again and get the knockdown They Ain't Tough. So he knocks down Fangtooth and puts the They Ain't Tough on Rage. He then passes the ball behind him to space. So obviously you've got Obulus and Bonesaw there. So he kicks to there, decides because it's a pretty safe spot. And after the scatter, I believe he re-rolls it and it ends up on... Or it doesn't re-roll it, sorry, that was the accuracy. Ends up basically snapping to Obulus. So we're then going to go with Fangtooth. Fangtooth is going to clear conditions on himself. He's going to jog to engage Brainpan, so obviously he is still being engaged by Veteran Graves. He'll take the momentous knockdown on the first attack. He'll then attack with bonus time, do a momentous 2 up to 3, and take out... then a third attack with Momentous 2 up to 3 and takes out Brainpan. So 10-2 in favour of the Union. Now my opponent remembers to legendary with Obulus and steals my 2 momentum. Then confidence is Bonesaw, passes the ball to Bonesaw, dodges Bonesaw 4 inches. Yeah, you can see what's going on there. That's what all ended up happening in the end, because he realises he's not quite in range to do anything to Grace, whether that be misdirection. He thinks he's going to sprint to there. So I'm then going to activate Coin, who Bagger Coffers Minx and jogs to engage Veteran Graves. Bonesaw stamina jogs, then sprints to tap in range, and she takes a shot on the goal and bangs it in for a screamer thanks to confidence. So 10-6 in favour of the Union. Bonesaw is going to dodge backwards. So the ball kicked out and it goes all the way over there, so it's not taking part in the rest of this game. And then I choose to activate Grace. Grace uses Healing Light via Talisman and then jogs to engage Graves. I do declare an attack. He declares a counter attack. I get a momentous dodge. He chooses a knockdown on the counter attack. They toughs Grace. I clear conditions on Grace, buy an attack, and do nothing. Dirge is going to stand up. Minx jogs base to base with Graves. Bagger Coffers attack. Momentous 3 damage, dodge, snared, blah blah. Followed by an attack with bonus time, momentous 3 damage. An attack with bonus time, momentous 3 damage. An attack with bonus time, momentous 4 damage. And finally, an attack with bonus. And finally, I got very confused there. Basically, I make 4 attacks. I take out Veteran Graves, which takes it to 12-6 in favour of the Union. Now, I think this was... Mike is still learning with Morticians. He's played a lot of Butchers, for anyone who's played him or even watched channel videos in the past with him on. I think there were options early where perhaps Obulus should have waited until later in the turn. I personally feel maybe this was more of a Scalpel matchup. And as much as I hate to see Scalpel with Tooled Up, I'm not sure if perhaps she was the better option here. But I'm not a skilled Morticians player. That's just my gut feeling. It'll be interesting to hear what other people think at the moment. So, in the end, 12-6 in favour of the Union. Thanks for watching. See you next time.